It's time to finish out the interior of this cabin and make it cozy. Welcome back to Boneset Ranch. It was a wet March, and so the work went a little slow. But I was really able to ramp things back up once spring arrived. I've built a little 120 square foot cabin in the woods on my property. The lower floor is framed with pallets. Now I need to insulate, pre-wire for the solar battery, and install plywood. Can't forget your gloves. Unless you want to be wearing this stuff for a week. Pallets are a tricky thing to insulate. Gold batt insulation and insulation board just isn't practical to put in between those slats. And if you're building with pallets, you're not going to want to spend the money on spray foam insulation. I decided on using a loose cellulose insulation. It's meant to be blown in with the machine, but this is a remote location that I didn't want to have to bring another machine in on, so I decided to do it manually in lifts using some building paper as my way of holding it as I moved up the pallet, which is another reason I didn't blow it in, because I wouldn't be able to keep up with the machine. It just didn't seem practical to use a hose down in these spaces. I wanted to make sure I packed it in and didn't have big gaps that blowing it in quickly would have left me with. The building paper that's primarily meant for roofing was a little difficult to work with because the staples want to pull out as you work with it on a vertical wall. But I wanted to have a black reveal for any cracks and gaps between the plywood I intend to put over the top of this. Plus, the building paper is relatively cheap at $35 a roll. So if I try to just put a staple through the paper itself, it has zero resistance. I'm using a cloth tape. This cloth tape helps the staple resist pulling.
Oh, blowout. Shoot. first panel.
I'm going to be using an EcoFlow Delta 2 battery for lights and charging phones and that sort of thing when I'm staying out in this part of the property. And rather than running a bunch of extension cords everywhere, I'm going ahead and essentially pre-installing extension cords inside the wall that will plug into the battery.
Okay, that'll be in there so I can slip future solar wires or anything else that I decide I need to get from the battery to the outside.
After using pre-attached traditional rough-in boxes on half of the walls, I came to the aha moment where for this plywood, if I just set myself up with a preset hole, I could use the remodel boxes instead that will attach themselves to the backside of the plywood, which allows me to get a perfect fit every time. You won't be able to tell the difference between the two once everything's installed.
So I finished up the cabin interior finishes. While the plywood's on, the insulation is in, the windows are trimmed up, been sealed up. Everything's buttoned up well for all of the rains that we've had. And moved in a few supplies here, and it's feeling good inside. So I'm really pleased with the progress. My next project is going to be a permanent stairway up into the loft area. The stairs I'll be building in the shop up the hill and then bringing it down and assembling it in place. I also have to finish roughing in the connections to the battery. The battery is staying well charged on the solar system that was installed. And the dog here, I don't know if you see her, but she's enjoying having a place to hang out now. That completes this video. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching.
In the next videos, I work more on the sawmill. And I do some grinding. And some welding. And then more grinding. And then I'm move-in ready. Thanks for watching.